Hi, I'm Revanth. This is part 1 of a Web Services interview video series. In this session, we will discuss top 5 Web Services interview questions and answers. So let's begin the tutorial. So here we go. The first basic interview question. What is a web service? A web service is a method of communication between two devices or applications. Communication is either homogeneous. Homogeneous means the technologies like .NET communicate with .NET web service or Java communicate with Java web service, or heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means different applications will communicate with different services, like .NET communicate with Java web service. Java web service will communicate with .NET web service. Web service will return the response based upon the user request, has either XML or JSON. A web service uses HTTP Hypertext Transfer Protocol and SOAP Simple Object Access Protocol to transfer data to and from the client application. The supported operations of web services is one way, has a request and response type. So second question, what is a WSDL? WSDL is an acronym for Web Services Description Language. So it describes the behavior of a service. It is a format to describe what a web service is going to offer. Generally, it defines what type of data type we are using in the methods and the parameters, input parameters and output parameters. And it defines the service bindings, defines the operation and gives the overall look of the service. For more information, visit this link. And the next question, what is the extension of web service? Mostly we use the extension for web service as .asmx. And next question, what is the namespace for web service? We import the namespace system.web.services to create the web services. Here is the final question of this video series. What is Web Service Protocol Stack? The Web Service Protocol Stack is an evolving set of protocols used to define, discover and implement web services. It is mainly consists of 4 layers: service transport layer, XML messaging layer, service description layer and service discovery. For more information regarding these 4 layers, refer this link. First question, what are the components of a web service? Mainly web service is a platform independent, so it uses XML and the HTTP as the basic platform, and it uses 3 components like SOAP, UDDI and WSDL. SOAP means Simple Object Access Protocol. UDDI means Universal Description Discovery and Integration. WSDL, Web Services Description Language. A web service enables communication among various applications by using open standards such as HTML, XML, WSDL and SOAP services. Second question, so this is the basic and most important interview question. What is a SOAP? SOAP stands for Simple Object Access Protocol. SOAP is an XML based protocol for exchanging information between applications. So SOAP uses a basic open standard XML for exchanging the data between the applications. Third question, what is the purpose of SOAP in a web service? SOAP uses open standard XML based applications for communication of the data. SOAP is used for transferring a data. Fourth question, what is the purpose of service description layer in a web service protocol stack? This layer is responsible for describing the public interface to a specific web service. Currently this WSDL is handling the service description layer. Fifth question, what are the features of SOAP? SOAP is a communication protocol. SOAP is a format for sending the messages. SOAP is platform independent. And SOAP is language independent. SOAP is simple and extensible. SOAP allows you to get around firewalls. So this communication will allow around the firewalls because it uses XML based communication. What is web service endpoint? A web service endpoint is a web address. Generally we term as a URL, Uniform Resource Locator, at which clients of a specific service can gain access to it. By referencing that URL, clients can get to operations provided by that service. So when we look at this picture, client can able to communicate with the web service through this endpoint. A client application can have multiple endpoints. Depending upon the endpoint, it will connect to that particular web service. Second question, what is ABC in web service? Web service which contains endpoint. Endpoint means address, binding, contract. This address means URL of the web service to connect. Binding means specifies how a web service is accessible through HTTP protocol or TCP protocol, named pipeline, and MSMQ, and different protocols we use. Generally the bindings will be specified as basic HTTP binding, net HTTP binding, or net TCP binding, etc. Contract. Contract means a contract should be an interface or web service class name. Next question. Difference between a website and a web service. A website serves the user HTML typically to be interpreted and displayed in a web browser to a human user. So with the intervention of a human, website performs some particular actions and renders the HTML page in the view. A web service can respond in many different ways, serving data in text, XML, or even an empty response. It's an interface to business logic. It does not have any view. It only has some interface to get the work done in the business logic. Fourth question. How to maintain sessions in web service? A web method attribute enables session property enables you to enable session state for a web method. So by making enable session property to true in the web method attribute, that enables the session state in a web service. Steps to enable the sessions programmatically explained in web service video series. For references, visit this link. Next question. Fifth question. How web service throws exception by default without handling? So without handling the exception in web service will return the exception as SOAP exception. Handling SOAP exception is explained in web service video series. For reference, visit this link. All the links which are provided here is in the YouTube description. You can directly click on that. What are the advantages of web services? Some of the advantages of web services are interoperability. That means web services can be accessible over network and which runs on HTTP or SOAP protocol, which returns the response as XML or JSON. So the programs which are written under Java or .NET programming, so the client can accessible through PHP or .NET or Java and vice versa. Second advantages is reusability. One web service can be used by many client applications at the same time. Like Java and .NET can simultaneously call the web service and get the response. Third advantage is loosely coupling. That means web services client code is totally independent with server code. So we can have achieved loose coupling in our application. Easy to deploy and integrate, just like web applications. Multiple service versions can be running at same time. Second question, what are different ways to test web services? SOAP web services can be tested programmatically by generating client stubs from WSDL. WSDL means Web Services Description Language, or through software such as SOAP UI tool. This is a free and pro version tool for testing the web services. For testing using SOAP UI tool, refer this link. I have described how to test the web service using SOAP UI tool. Next question. What is the serialization used for web services? Web services uses XML serialization. Fourth question. How to handle network security threats in web services? First step is filter out all HTTP post requests that set their content type to text or XML. Another alternative is to filter the SOAP action HTTP header attribute. Fifth question. Disadvantages of web services. Although web services are simple to use, but there are some flaws of using it. One of the disadvantage is overmatching requirement. This is anytime one create a web service to handle a variety of customers need specialized machine requirements. Second disadvantage of web services is security. Web services are available to public through HTTP based protocol, so everyone can access web services and use it. This flaw can be avoided using authentication mechanism. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. For any queries and support, contact .NET Revanth @gmail.com.